Like seriously, look at that. Ugh. It's been a few weeks since my last video, and that's because this place has been keeping me really, really busy just to try and stay on top of everything. But today, we're talking about authenticity, what it means to be authentic, true, and honest as a garden YouTube vlogger. So let's have a catch up. Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back, and welcome to a typical Irish summer where, although it's dry and kind of bright and warm today, for the last couple of weeks it's either been stormy or wet, or stormy or wet again. And over the last couple of weeks I've had some really big important jobs that I need to do around the garden just to keep it looking well and so that it doesn't look totally abandoned. But what I noticed is I haven't made any video of it and I haven't been uploading anything to the channel, and I had to ask myself, why is that? So I think part of it is because I haven't felt totally comfortable in what I record and put out to show you on my channel. If you watched my video a couple of weeks ago, which is what I'm doing in the garden right now, you'll have seen that I was doing nice jobs like just skimming the pond or sowing biennial seeds for next year or sowing seeds to keep more lettuce seeds going for salads. Well, while I was doing that, I was aware that there was other stuff that really needed to be done. And actually, if you even look in the video, you can see in the background, there's grass that really needs to be tackled. There's a little hedge behind me that's starting to look messy. And what's worse is when I was filming it, I was aware of this. I knew that these jobs needed to be done, but I was kind of nervous about doing videos about stuff that's like that, mundane, albeit important tasks that need to get done. So instead, I was trying to pick things that I thought you'd enjoy watching, but it didn't feel authentic. And that's the main thing, is that when I was filming it, I didn't feel like I was being either true to myself or true to you. So in the end, I ended up feeling totally stuck. I didn't want to produce videos of things that I thought maybe would come across as dull or boring, but at the same time didn't feel that I could just make up content, knowing that in the background I had other stuff that simply needed to get done, or this whole garden was going to get away from me and turn into a total mess. So I've made a decision, and here's what I'm going to do. I always wanted this channel to be a vlog about me in the garden, how it makes me feel, what I'm doing, my successes and my failures. I never wanted it to be necessarily just a teaching channel or educational or a how-to channel. So that's what I'm going to bring it back to. It's going to be an honest vlog about what I'm doing here, right now, and why, and also how it makes me feel, because I love this garden and all of the things, whether they're boring, whether they're fun, whether they're big jobs or whether they're little jobs, are all things that contribute to keeping it looking like this. And that's all part of the fun of it. So, time for a reality check. I'm going to show you what I've had to do over the last couple of weeks, because it's been some fairly big work, and it starts with getting on top of the grass. I always say about how much I hate cutting grass. Even though I do hate cutting grass, I really hate, and I mean hate, cutting grass. Do you see what I mean? But here we have a lot of it to do. All of the grass in the orchard, which runs all the way back down there, the main area of grass in the back garden. All the grass in here, the area that's going to be the veg garden, the grass in the secret garden, not to mention the lawn in the front garden. Do you see? It's certainly no mean feat. Now, here was our no-mow meadow, which has now been mowed, and it was an absolutely awful job to try and get back even just to this state. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been gradually reducing the height of the grass over time. Now, ideally you'd be doing that with a scythe or with a large lawnmower, like a ride-on lawnmower, so that you can lift all of the grass, but I don't have any of that equipment. All I've got is a petrol-powered lawnmower. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been spending hours over quite a few days going over this, gradually reducing the height further and further down. Now, what that has done is it's got me absolutely filthy. It's got me exhausted, truthfully at times, absolutely off and dejected, but it's finally starting to get there, and I'm confident that over the rest of the season, if I keep going over it with the lawnmower now, I'll gradually reduce it down in height. Earlier on in the year, it looked beautiful with all of the flowers and the seed heads and all of the wildlife that it attracted, but it's been a really, really difficult job to try and get it back on track. It's still nowhere near finished, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I am going to be able to get it back to a decent patch of grass to get us through the winter. But it's not only here where I've had to spend a lot of time cutting grass. And at this time of year, the grass is basically unstoppable. It grows non-stop. You have to keep on top of it. This needs cut every week. It actually hasn't been cut in about 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to get stuck into it now. It takes about an hour at least just to get this patch done. But not only does it take time, it also produces a lot of grass waste, which then needs to get carted off somewhere and disposed of. And in this case, it goes down the very back of our garden into our compost area. So, have I talked about grass enough yet? Over the last couple of weeks, it feels like pretty much the only job that I've been doing, and it's just been taking all of my time, all of my energy, and a great big dollop of my emotion as well. But there's some other stuff that I've been having to do as well. So I was watching a gardening channel recently, and the presenter had a really nifty phrase to describe some of the things that make your garden look really, really well. And it was hedges and edges. And it made me realize at that time, our garden basically had neither. Our hedges were looking messy. There were no neat edges. And you can even see it in that video that I was saying about where I'm sowing seeds. You can see in the background, the hedge is starting to look a bit scrappy. So I brought in help. I brought in one of my friends, and we spent a day and tackled this. We took on the hedge, we took on the shrubs behind, but most importantly, we took on the perennial weeds that are intermingled amongst all of that. Part of the problem we have in this garden is that there's a lot of really pernicious weeds that grow in amongst the hedges. Now, it's things like brambles, rosebay willow herb, ivy, all sorts. And yes, you could just cut it with the hedge trimmers, but it doesn't solve the problem. It still remains there. So we took an entire day and tackled just this area here. It was hard work. We pulled out a load of weeds, a load of things that we didn't want to be there, and this is the result. This is only a fraction of what we managed to lift out. I do think it looks a lot better. So what I need to do now is continue with that, keep going around the rest of the garden, smartening up all those hedges and edges. But as one last thing, and saying that I'm being really authentic, do you want to see something really bad? Have a look over here. Oh my God, there's this. This is on the other side of the little hedge, and it's full of weeds that have gone to seed. I know I should have tackled them way sooner than that. There's brambles, there's long grass, all of it's gonna have to go. So that's gonna be my next job. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah, that is definitely being authentic and honest, showing you that. That's my next task. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to spend more time doing the same, working my way around the garden and tackling those hedges and edges. So the last few weeks have shown me a couple of things. For starters, it's shown me quite how high maintenance this place is. It's a big garden, there's always something to be done, but generally, because of the size of it, those things are quite large jobs. But more importantly, I now have an idea of what I want to show on my channel to be authentic to me. I'm going to make content that I love, and I'm sure you're going to love too. It's going to be a little bit less of the how-to instructional stuff and more following what I'm doing. But don't worry, there'll still be some useful how-tos now and then, like how to make a homemade hot composter. Loads of you have been asking for that. You've been sending me messages, so I'm in the middle of making that at the minute. But most of all, what I'm looking forward to is sharing this place with you properly and opening up about the garden and about me as I garden in it. I think it's going to be a great journey to go on together. So, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit a like. and subscribe. Leave a comment down below because I love hearing about what you think or if you've got any questions. And as always, hit that little bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post my next video. And until the next time, see you later.